Welcome to Shock to the Series.
Falcon Punch!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 10. We have hit the big 1-0 for Shock to the Series. And like I said, we are 3 days away as of this episode from the release of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Friday, December 7th is going to be an absolutely huge day. 70 plus characters coming in this massive game. I can't wait for the adventure mode and everything. And there are so many characters and they have so many series and they've all kind of evolved over the years and we've seen what they can do. Really save for one that I can really think of, except for like the older school characters, so I guess that's not really true, but like Ice Climbers and Game & Watch, these more old school characters, but there's one who hasn't had his time in the sun in a very long time, and that would be Captain Falcon. The F-Zero games were so... Maybe Nintendo thought they didn't need two car racing franchises between Mario Kart and F-Zero, but I think F-Zero was different enough to where it can still exist alongside Mario Kart to this day. And of course, currently it does exist in Mario Kart 8. You have two, I believe, F-Zero themed tracks, and I believe even the Blue Falcon has been a car in the Mario Kart series before. I don't think it is in 8, but I'm not sure. But I think it was definitely different enough, and I think especially using the Switch as graphical power now, I think it would make a very welcome return to come back and see Captain Falcon and Samurai Goro and all the other characters. Black Bull, I think, is one. If that's the right name. Sounds a little simplistic, but I really feel Captain Falcon is such an interesting character, and like there's not a lot there, but just the speed that the F-Zero games and the music that the F-Zero games had is so good and iconic, and it's led to, the fact that he's still included in these games, along with you've got at least 2 F-Zero stages in Smash Brothers with Big Blue and what I believe is Mute City coming in these games. And of course, Big Blue is definitely an interesting stage, always good to have. But of course, F-Zero started on the SNES, and again, it was just a different take from Mario Kart. You didn't really have power-ups and things. It was just to be the fastest, and it was really hard. That's the thing. Mario Kart is hard because of rubber banding AI and things like that, and there is a sense of speed in the new 200cc, but Mario Kart 8 is the first time that's existed. I almost said Switch, but I don't think that's true. I think it was on the Wii U. Anyway, but you really got a sense of speed with F-Zero, and especially F-Zero GX, and you just had to be good. That was it. You had to be good. You had to learn these courses. You had to make sure you didn't run up on walls and lose your energy. You just had to be good. These F-Zero games were a real test as far as gaming skill. And that's not to say Mario Kart isn't, but there are no power-ups. There's no, you can boost a little, and there's jumps and things, of course, to do a few tricks. Not much. It really just involves going off the ramp. And you've got the side panels to refill your health bar, like in Mario Kart 8, where the little side energy charges are what give you coins. They refill your car's health bar. But it was really interesting because, the better you did, the more tracks you unlocked. But it was also a case of you had to finish up there. And it's kind of the same thing, like I said, as Mario Kart. If you don't get the trophies in Mario Kart, you don't advance. But it's a little easier. This is not, it is a family game, but it's not a family game in the sense of everybody's going to have a good time. Everybody's going to pull their hair out because they're slamming into walls. They're missing jumps and just dying. It's not like Mario Kart where, you jump off the ledge and go out of bounds. Lakitu brings you back. No, you jump off the ledge and go out of bounds. Your car explodes, and that's the end of that for you. But, Captain Falcon's always been a really interesting character, and the fact that he's kind of evolved into sort of a meme with the idea of Falcon Punch and the Falcon Kick and things like that. but it's still one of the more popular characters that hasn't had a game put out in a very long time. Like I said, the Ice Climbers and Game & Watch haven't had a game either, but as far as popularity, they're not nearly. I think it's been long past time. I was getting worried, and I may do one eventually, but I was getting worried as I started making ideas for this series that the last Star Fox game I was going to be able to talk about was not the Wii U one, because there just hadn't been one for so long. And F-Zero is kind of in the same. F-Zero is now even further in that boat because there hasn't been an F-Zero game, I believe, as far as I know, since the GameCube, since F-Zero GX. And I know they had, I think, an arcade in Japan, of course. That didn't come here, sadly. So I think F-Zero is definitely one of those games that can really shine on the Switch, especially with its portability and the simplicity of being able to just take the Joy-Con off and race. I think that is lost. It's just like going back and you say, oh, the Joy-Con's so small. Yeah, but it's not as bad as it could be by any means. And for the little kids, it's not that small. Yes, for adult gamers, it is. It's fairly small. I mean, look at my hands. I'm trying to hold a Joy-Con. But I think it works. I think it works well enough. And I really think that F-Zero, and you, especially with the way they're making like special Switch controllers and things. Think about if you had a blue Falcon blue Joy-Con with with the racing stripes or whatever. I think that'd be really cool. Special blue Falcon Joy-Con would be really neat. Or Switch emblazoned with the F-Zero logo. I think that would all be really cool and be a great way to bring F-Zero really back to the forefront of Nintendo properties. So yeah, unfortunately, that is basically it for this one. There's not, unfortunately, a lot to talk about. It was a great series, and I think it should continue. And there's not that much to talk about with it, unfortunately. But that being said, do you want to see F-Zero take another lap around the course? Post your opinion in the top right, as per usual. And next week, while Smash Bros. Beloved come out, we're going to look at another game series from another Smash character. The history of this one is honestly a lot more murky than F-Zero. The series had 3 major releases, 2 being the same game but on different systems, a sequel, and then there was a 3rd game. And the drama behind this series and what happened with the 3rd game, it's a legend, essentially. That's it for this one, guys. That is lights out on Shock to the Series, F-Zero.